Hi Howard, thanks for taking time to talk to me. You're currently playing for Crusaders in the Irish League, but I'd like to talk through with you your football journey so far. If we can go right back to the start, when did you start playing football?
So I began at a young age. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyed playing with my friends. Got a wee bit more serious, and I joined a youth team as well, just my local town in Ballymoney. Joined what was called at that time Riata Soccer School. Played up through the age groups at that level. Played in the Foyle Cup before for Coleraine under 16s. And at that stage, had an offer to join Coleraine, where at that stage I played in the reserves for 1 year at 16, and then made my first team debut at 17, home to Portadown one wet Saturday afternoon. So that was the start of I suppose my football journey, my Irish League journey as well. In between times, there's been some really memorable times. There's been playing in the Foyle Cup, been playing in the Milk Cup representing my county, playing for Northern Ireland twice, and winning the Milk Cup on both occasions. Probably one of the standout times has been playing for the Irish League Select team at 22 in the Harry Gregg testimonial against Manchester United at Windsor Park in front of a sold out crowd, playing against some of the top players from Manchester United, like Wayne Rooney, Patrice Evra. I think at that stage in the night, Michael Owen and Berbatov played up front. So it was an incredible night. Almost scored as well, which when you see my goal record, you know that that's quite an achievement, especially against Manchester United. But that's been some memorable times. Joining Crusaders then as well, playing in the Champions League, playing in the Europa League as well. So that's a wee bit of a quick tour through my footballing career to where I am now, having just turned 30 and having played probably around 450 games in Irish League.
Then moving on to growing up through your career, did any English clubs ever spot you for trials?
Yeah, I think when you break into the first team in Irish League football, people talk, people are keen to see the next young player that's coming up through. And as I kind of broke through at 17, at that stage there was a normal kind of paper talk of certain clubs that may or may not be interested. For me, there was the opportunity to go on trial to West Brom, who obviously have just been promoted back into the Premier League. So I went across at a 17-year-old on my Easter holidays while still at school to go on trial for a week with West Brom. I look back on that and I suppose, yeah, probably an incredible time. Hard not to be in awe of professional footballers. You walk into the changing room you're training with, and you've seen them from TV as well. So probably as a 17-year-old, a wee bit overawed by the situation, stepping up from training on a Tuesday and Thursday to then training full time as well for the week. And I suppose as well, just having that belief in yourself that you're good enough to be there, that you've deserved the trial because you've played well, and to really go for it. I think at that stage for me as a young 17-year-old, I think it's a lot more maturing to do, both physically I think and also mentally as well, which at that stage that was such a big learning curve where my career has went on to from.
Then in July 2008, you got called up to Coleraine's first team. Was that a dream of yours from when you were young?
Yeah, do you know, I can remember Saturdays back before your time, Joel, and following teletext and CFAX, where I would have kept an eye on the Irish League scores, which on CFAX I think was 390 for Northern Ireland football and sport. So I remember always keeping an eye on Irish League scores, and the team that I would have been looking out most for was Coleraine. It was my closest senior team, and I suppose at that stage then, having played in the Foyle Cup for Coleraine, there was that link with the club, and that's kind of where I suppose the relationship began, playing in the Foyle Cup, and then obviously moving to the reserves at 16 was a great opportunity because there was a clear pathway to moving into the Irish League as well, and I think that's important. I knew that if I went and played in reserves and did well, I had a manager who believed in me, who pushed me, who I wanted to play for, then I know that everything would have been there to go on and to make my Irish League debut, which I did then in 2008 at home to Portadown. I played right back that day, as I did for the first few years for Coleraine before moving across into my more natural position at centre half. So it was, I can remember the day, I can remember the weather, I can remember the pitch, I can remember the opposing team, the left back and the other team. There's a lot of things that I remember from that time. So it was a dream come true. It was, I suppose, a start of a journey that I probably never thought would maybe go the way it has done in regards to having played, I say, coming up to around 450 games in Irish League, and having the opportunity to play in the Champions League and the Europa League as well. So the journey's been full of fantastic times, ups and downs. Look, as any player who stands behind a camera will say that, you know, football is lots of great times. There's testing times, but it shapes you as a person, and it's important to remember who you are as a player, but who you are as a person as well.
Although you play defence, what has been your best goal you've ever scored?
Wow. Well, can I talk about my nearly goal? My nearly goal in the testimonial game for Harry Gregg against Manchester United. At this stage it was 1-0. We were 1-0 down. Patrice Evra had scored the first goal. We had got a corner, so I naturally came up for the corner. I can't remember who hit it, but I can remember that the ball was headed out to the edge of the box, to which the ball was still bouncing, and for some reason I tried a bicycle kick, to which I connected well. The ball was going into the top corner, and Thomas Kuszczak pushed it wide. Thankfully, but on that move we crossed it back in again, and I think Chris Scannell, who striker used to play for Cliftonville, scored against Manchester United. So that was a nearly goal. Okay, probably the best goal I've scored, probably the most important goal maybe. The most important goal was for Crusaders against Ballymena in the County Antrim Shield final 2 years ago, to which we won, I think, 3-0 or 3-1 on the night. So it was the first goal of the game. As everybody says, the first goal is important. It can either, you know, settle you down, or else it can kind of increase the, you know, putting you in the back foot early doors. So probably that first goal, to which it was probably more of a slide tackling goal than a 30-yard volley. So yeah, that's probably one of the most important ones. There haven't been too many spectaculars, but there's been a few important ones along the way. Probably one more that comes to mind, and there's not too many, was Boxing Day for Crusaders against Cliftonville. Tap in from probably about a yard into the top corner. So that was good. Boxing Day derby against Cliftonville.
How did your move to Crusaders come about?
My move to Crusaders came about when I was 26. My contract that year at Coleraine was due to expire. It was a tough decision between staying with Coleraine. My following year at Coleraine would have been my testimonial year, so for 10 years service. And at 26, that was something that you know would have been a great achievement at that stage. And I think at that stage I was keen. I'd been at Coleraine for a long time. I captained the club for 4 years under Oran Kearney, and I felt at that stage of my career was a wee bit of a crossroads where I thought, it's maybe now or never for a change, for a new challenge, and maybe coming up to Belfast and playing for a top Belfast team. So at that stage there was interest from Crusaders. I'd met with Stephen, we had spoke through, and I felt that was a good move for me at that time, and I then later made the decision to join Crusaders. That was a tough move. Good memories at Coleraine, know a lot of people, players you play with as well, so that was tough, moving clubs as well. So it's been something that's brought about amazing memories, opportunities as well, as came from playing for Crusaders, winning the league title, winning the Irish Cup, County Antrim Shield, playing in Europe as well, so it's been tremendous.
What does a typical Saturday match day look like at Crusaders?
Oh, okay, so I guess your match day situation is very individual as well, so it's down to the player, what they do, what they have for breakfast, what they have for lunch as well. But normally for a home game at Crusaders, we meet here for 1 o'clock, we meet just up the stairs, we have a table tennis table, we like to just relax. Some players will sit and chat, others will maybe have tea, coffee, some toast. Some will be playing table tennis, others will be maybe, if there's an early kick-off, maybe watching a game as well. So it's very flexible. It's all about doing what helps bring you into the zone, if you like, for the game ahead, what prepares you, what deals with those nerves, what helps you stay relaxed as well and not overthink about the game ahead. So it's pretty flexible. Obviously, if it's an away game, we're meeting a little bit earlier. We'll travel together in the team bus with good crack in the bus on the way down. And obviously the form in the bus on the way back is dependent on how the result goes over the 90 minutes. But that's a wee bit of what it's about. I think it's important to eat well. It's important to hydrate as well too. It's important to prepare yourself mentally for games too, which is a part that maybe sometimes we don't always focus on as footballers, but it's important to kind of prepare yourself individually. Everybody's a little bit different in what they like to do on a match day as well, but it's all about I suppose preparation when we go out, not even for the whistle to start the game, but even before that in the warm-up as well, being prepared, getting warmed up and being ready for the whistle to go at 3 o'clock.
You won the County Antrim Shield with Crusaders in 2018. I was there and remember Crusaders being 3-0 down in the bad weather. How special was it to win on that wet and windy night?
Yeah, do you know, I suppose when it comes to games as well, there's things that are outside of your control, weather conditions, referees' decisions as well. So there's lots of things that can be outside of your control. So as players, you have to focus on what you can control. That's your own performance. That's playing together as a team. That's about motivating your teammates as well. And that's about, I suppose, a never give up or never say die attitude, where regardless of how the game's going, you keep playing to the final whistle, and hard work pays off, and perseverance as well. And during 90 minutes, no team's going to dominate for the full 90. You have moments in the game, and when you're in the game and on top, it's important to take your chances as well. And thankfully, that is a good outcome for us.
I asked this question to Sean Ward, who interviewed a few weeks ago. If you remember, I said Crusaders got the opportunity to play against Premier League side Wolves at Molyneux and Seaview. How special was it for you to play in those games?
Yeah, do you know what? Those games were amazing occasion. I think for the club to get into that position, to get the dream draw, to which we got after defeating Torshavn from the Faroe Islands in the round before. And we knew that night we had played the Faroese team here. We had beat them. Still fairly tight. I think it was 1 or 2-0 just. And we knew that going out there, we knew at that stage that there would be the opportunity for the winning team to play Wolves. So that night out in the Faroe Islands, we knew if we won the game, or as long as we didn't get beat, we had Wolves the next round. So even to get through that game with the pressure of knowing what was ahead for us, but the occasion of playing against Wolves, it's something that will long live in the memory for the football club as well, to have played in such a big occasion in the Europa League as well. And that was a special occasion for Wolves. That was their first time playing in the Europa League for a long number of years as well. And I think I'll remember just the sheer noise of the crowd at Molyneux that evening as well. And that was an absolute scorcher of a day. The heat was staggering. I think it was high 20s as well. But the noise of Molyneux completely packed out will long live in the memory. And as well as that, just coming out and looking up to the left, we've seen the Crusaders fans who had came across to make the journey for the game, just up in the far left hand corner as well, and they sung their heart out as well amongst probably about 30,000+ Wolves fans. So it's an incredible occasion for the fans as well, and I suppose just reward for their following and support of the team over the years.
When I researched you, I found out you're involved in a group called Christians in Sport. I've never heard of it. Can you tell me all about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Christians in Sport is a UK, probably worldwide organisation as well. So the kind of Christians in Sport, the whole aim is that within sport, that they're an organisation who look to support Christians in sport. But they also look to reach out to others as well who aren't Christians, and I suppose to share the good news as well of Jesus. But a big part of it is showing how we can play football, a sport, a game that we all love, but how we can do that in a way that glorifies Jesus. And I think that's a big part behind it, to encourage us that yes, it's about going out, playing your best, wanting to win trophies, absolutely, but it's about going out and playing in a way and playing in a manner that would honour Jesus in those 90 minutes as well. So it's an organisation that's been a great support for me and many others as well. It's an organisation that I stay connected with as well, because I see the benefits of it. I really appreciate the support that comes from it as well, and it's certainly an organisation I would encourage anybody to check out as well. And to find out a little bit more for yourselves about what they do and what they're all about as well.
And finally, what advice would you give to young people playing football now whose dream of playing in the Irish League when they're older?
Yeah, I would say, well, there's lots of things you could say. I suppose it's kind of just to encourage young people as well. It's to encourage them to kind of get outside from their Xbox or their PlayStation, to go outside, to train, to join a club, to go to training, to listen to your coaches, to work hard, to establish good disciplines as well, to work hard at football as well, to train. It doesn't just happen overnight, it's a journey. So it's looking at football and career as a journey, not an overnight success. And it's being aware that there will be setbacks, there will be knocks along the way. You may not make a certain competition team, you may not get a trial at an age when other people are getting trials as well, but it's about being confident and secure, that that you have a desire to play and you want to work hard to give yourself every opportunity. So it's about taking the good times but also the knockbacks and the setbacks. We all know in sport that injury is a big part of what happens, unfortunately, and that's a testing time physically, obviously, but also mentally. So it's about realising that the journey isn't just a steady incline, but it's actually a few ups and downs along the way. But it's about believing in yourself as well, and surrounding yourself with people who believe in you also. And it's about not giving up. It's about keeping going and moving forward as well, and joining a club as well where there's good coaches, where coaches are giving you opportunities, where they believe in you, they're encouraging you, and it's a healthy atmosphere about the club as well. And it's also about growing and developing as a player, absolutely, but also as a person, because that's really important. To be a good teammate as well would be a particular piece of advice that I would give also.
Thanks very much for taking time to talk to me, and all the best for next season.
Thank you, Joel. Take care.